Will we see Harry Kane start or even play today when Tottenham host Manchester City at White Hart Lane? Still such conjecture, such division around football as to whether or not Harry Kane's transfer to Manchester City will happen. What has been widely reported on and confirmed by many is that a new bid of £120 million circular plus add-ons totaling somewhere in the region of £140 million will be made next week. Harry Kane's camp have been very quiet in the last 7 to 10 days after making a big splash over the course of the summer. Manchester City remain very ambitious and confident behind the scenes that they can get this deal done. At the same time, everybody you speak to in connection to Tottenham suggests that Daniel Levy has no desire to sell the player. And even if the desired valuation of £160 million were met, it is still highly likely that they would walk away. But at the same time, Tottenham Hotspur to continue to work on replacements for Harry Kane. The Lautaro Martinez deal will just not go away. They still continue to talk to the representatives of the Argentinian forward and continue to speak to Inter Milan, along with Arsenal Football Club, who again have made Lautaro Martinez aware of the level of contract they would offer him. They were I think very close. You know, within £5 to £10 million of the agreed fee with Inter Milan just a few short weeks ago. But of course, Tottenham and Arsenal both appear to be waiting on that deal to see whether or not their respective strikers, the Lacazettes and the Harry Kanes, move on. So a lot still to go on within that regard. And of course, Spurs are still linked with the Florentina striker also. In other news in North London, keeping with Arsenal Football Club, they are reported today to be meeting with Martin Odegaard's representatives to try and thrash out a deal. As reported by Dean Jones on Friday morning, it is highly likely that Arsenal will first attempt to sign the player on a loan deal with an obligation to buy next year. They will suggest it be an option to buy. Real Madrid are probably going to propose that it be an obligation to bring the player in, and they'll meet somewhere in the middle. But Arsenal are trying to stop as many initial outgoing costs as possible. This is clearly in their pursuit of a striker after the young and very talented Tammy Abraham yesterday 100% agreed to join Jose Mourinho at Roma, and that ends Arsenal's pursuit of their second choice striker. But we're going to delve into these stories and a lot more this morning on the Football Terrace. Do me a big favor right now and smash that like button. It's very important to the Terrace that you do that. Please join our brand new notifications group. The link for that is inside the description below. You know what to do next, people. Like, share, subscribe. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Good morning. Lots of transfer updates for you today. We covered, of course, all the games yesterday. So it was actually a really nice welcome break away from talking about the transfers and, you know, talking a little bit more about football in general. Very much enjoyed that yesterday myself, and I hope you did the same. What an opening couple of days we've had to the start of the Premier League season. The big clash today between Tottenham and Manchester City will not let us down. I am sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it. It will not let us down. We have a poll running right now that asks whether you think Harry Kane will start today. 38% of you think he will, which is very interesting to see if he does. Today's game is key for me in terms of this poker match, in terms of this battle between Tottenham and Man City. Do I think City are nervous about not getting him? Yes. Do I think Tottenham are considering selling him? Yes. Do I expect either to show any sign of weakness in public? Absolutely not. Harry Kane wants to move, no doubt. Do they play him? Do they play him? I think if he starts, it shows you where Tottenham are with the deal. If he's on that bench, it makes it very hard to decide. If he's not involved at all today, when about 3:30 when those teams get announced, if he's not involved at all today, I'm then going to move into a realm of being 90% sure that this deal is going to go through. But as per Dean Jones last week, £120 million bid with around about £20 million of add-ons is going to be made next week. This deal is going to be moved into the realms of being resolved. That's what Man United are going to look to do, is get this deal resolved by, Manchester City. I think it's the Man United. Get this deal resolved next week. Morning, Maria Williams. Good morning to you. Watching TFT on the beach this morning. Look at that. That's quality. Yeah, I'm very, very well. I hope you are as well. Say very well. I dropped my phone this morning on the kitchen floor and it smashed, right? And it's just doing this. Watch this. It might do it again if I press it. Is it going to blink? No. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I did it and I turned it round, right? Keep watching. It might do it again. Let me turn to the camera. Watch. See that little flash? It's just flashing yellow. I don't know how to stop it. See that flash? I don't know how to stop it. It's broke. I've got no phone. So yeah, other than that, I'm all good. But the new bid is going to go in next week for Harry Kane, and it's going to be intriguing to see what happens with it. And there's such division within football. Like, legitimately, so much division in the game right now around this piece. Whoever you speak to, you get a different view and opinion. The Times are saying, that confidence is going to stay at Tottenham. There are others that are very neutral and in the middle. And then you've got some other people out there. Depends on the journalistic approach or the social media in the no side of things. Everybody's very, very split indeed. I am literally 50-50. I think it can go either way. I don't believe it's 100% he's staying at Tottenham, or I don't think it's a guarantee that he's going Man City. I really do think it's in the middle. Let's wait to see the reaction from Tottenham if this 140 bid comes in. Where I think it still really heats up is around the likes of Lautaro Martinez, or I'm trying to learn how to pronounce his name right.
Vlahovic.
Vlahovic. Okay. I think that's how you pronounce it. How do they say it in English on Google Translate?
Vlahovic.
Is this so when it's in, hang on, is this that again?
Vlahovic.
That's a weird way of saying it.
Vlahovic.
Okay, I'm going to say it like that. That sounds right. Vlahovic. They're chasing Vlahovic and Lautaro Martinez. Negotiations for Lautaro Martinez continue. Vlahovic as well. Okay, absolutely as well. They're continuing to pursue these strikers. One thing I don't believe is they're looking to sign one of these very expensive strikers and keep Harry Kane. If that happens, I'll hold my hands up and say I got that one completely wrong. That's an opinion piece here, not anything I've been told, not anything that Pete or Dean or any of the journalists from the Football Terrace have said. So that's just mainly my opinion. I think Spurs are negotiating with those players because they're looking at moving Harry Kane on. I think if a deal can be done for those individuals, I think they accept Man City's bid. Legitimately, if Inter change their minds, and I did see that update from Fabrizio yesterday that Spurs will bid if Inter change their minds. He said the same thing about Man City and Kane. He said Man City will bid if Tottenham change their minds. Do you know what I love about that narrative? Is how do you know they've changed their minds unless you bid? And I'm not talking the official bids. I'm talking you have to make an offer or a suggestion of an offer or an inquiry with an offer attached to know whether they've changed their minds, right? I love it. The semantics of transfers this year. They are absolutely out of this world. Legitimately out of this world, the way that they're framed and put together. Do you get what I mean? It's like, if Inter change their minds, Tottenham will bid. Why doesn't anybody ask the question, how will the changing of the mind come about? Like, I very much doubt Inter are just going to wake up on the 30th of August, stretch their arms. Get my phone, please, darling. Oh, there you go. This is my old phone. What are you doing? Just making a phone call. Hello, Mr. Levy. Yeah, it's Inter Milan here. Yeah, I know we don't. Yeah, I know we sound more Cockney than we do Italian. Yeah, you're right. You know, we said that Lautaro Martinez was dead. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, we're going to sell him now. What changed my mind? Nothing really. Nothing really. Huh? What do you mean? No, no, no. Just decided today to change my mind. Yeah, how much are you willing to offer? Oh, but that's not enough. It's not happening. Like, it's not going to work that way, is it? Like, legitimately, it's not going to work that way. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. They are going to keep talking. And it's not so much going to be if Inter change their mind. It's going to be if Inter accept the bid. That's the thing of it here. Like, it's not, I mean, it's Daniel Levy isn't going to change his mind. It's whether he accepts the bid. What people say and what people do are often very, very, very different things. And I would draw the example onto this. Some of the most prominent people I see on social media that have things like mental health advocate in their profiles are the biggest bullies I've ever come across. Some of the biggest social media victims are some of the biggest bullies and backstabbers out there. There's some YouTubers out there always crying and bleating about treat people nicely, be kind. And I watched their stuff. I've stopped watching a lot of it recently because every 5 minutes they're digging into someone. It's like, oh, you don't really practice what you preach. As I say, it's what people do and not what they say. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. But they're not going to change their minds. They're going to accept a bid. Twisted Bubba said that isn't semantics. I call it BS. There's an element of that, but it is semantics. It's how you want to pose things. You keep all summer. We've seen things like personal terms are not a problem. That means they're going to be agreed. No official bids have gone in yet. So inquiries have been made. No direct contact between clubs. Okay, so an intermediary did it. But in the cold light of day, when you scratch through all the BS and all the nonsense, a lot of work's gone on. So you look at the Martinez deal to Arsenal. The clubs were, depending on what report you read, let's just give it a nice medium, were apart by around about £10 million on the transfer fee. But the player was willing and happy to join Arsenal. The contract offer has been fairly well reported. That means the deal's pretty close to me. As far as I'm concerned, when a team are only a few £1 million away on valuation and a player is willing to join, it's pretty much the majority of the work done outside of the legalities, which have nothing to do with what the media report on. The reason that Arsenal have slowed down their pursuit of any striker is why they've missed out on Tammy is because they can't get rid of Aubameyang or Laka, and that's what they want to do first. But then the semantics come in. No official contact has been made between the clubs. No official bids have happened. Personal terms have not been agreed. When you can spin it the other way very quickly by changing the semantics and changing the framing to make it sound like it was a fleeting conversation in the night between an agent and a club. And it simply isn't. These deals have been far more intense than people are now trying to let on. And it's the same with the Harry Kane and Man City situation. You know, this is pretty far down the line. I would almost guarantee that a lot of conversations, whether direct or indirect, have been happening in recent weeks for Man City to feel confident enough to be putting this bid in. Now, do I think it's like the Man United, Varane, Real Madrid situation where the first official bid will be accepted? No, because not all transfers work in that way. Madrid and Varane were happy to part ways for a number of reasons. The situation isn't the same, so you can't apply the same logic to it because the base isn't the same. It's a very different scenario. But Man City are definitely going to hold some confidence, and Spurs are definitely considering selling him. Otherwise, it would have been categorically shut down, point blank. But even when you listen to a lot of the reports, so if you think about the Lautaro Martinez deal, the Spurs deal, what all the tier ones are saying is it's unlikely it will go through. Only if Levy changes his mind. That means the door's open. The door's open because it's on. Let's get to the crux of it there. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for me. It really, really is. I'm going to do some more of your comments that are coming through here. Tammy rejected Arsenal. Well, that's not necessarily true. Tammy Abraham didn't directly reject Arsenal Football Club. He just didn't wait for them any longer. He legitimately was waiting. He legitimately wanted to join. He was happy to join Arsenal Football Club. For me, there is absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. But they're just not ready. The same as with Lautaro Martinez. They are not prepared to put an adequate bid in for a player or make anything official until they've moved on Lacazette or Aubameyang, Eddie Nketiah. They're not going to do it, Arsenal. That's how it appears right as it stands right now. That is how it appears. And we've seen Arsenal change their minds in the past. they very, very much briefed the media. They were not going to go and pay the kind of money that I want to say it was Lille, but it could be a different team now. Whoever they bought Pepe from, they categorically said that they were not going to do that, and they changed their stance. So, do I think they could change their stance again? Of course they can. This is football. This is Arsenal. These things have happened before. They happened again. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. But did Tammy reject Arsenal? No, he just didn't want to wait for them any longer. But they've certainly missed out on him, which I think, listen, I tweeted, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now, and I just said maybe just under 2 weeks ago, and I simply said that Arsenal got to act quickly around their striker piece because Tammy wanted them, Lautaro Martinez wanted them, but they are currently in a position where Tottenham and Atletico Madrid for Martinez, and of course Roma now because they've signed him, are leading those races, and they run the risk of watching the parade go by. And the thing I would say is this: great practice is, there's no such thing as a perfect man, only perfect intentions. And they are trying to do good business this year, Arsenal. They are trying to. The approach is right. But there's sometimes where you've got to deviate from the process and, speculate to accumulate at the end of the day. And if they miss out on Tammy, there has to be a plan now. There has to be a plan that they're sure of happening. If they go into this season with the strike force they've got and there's no new additions, they're in trouble. If they go into the season with not another additional midfielder, I mean, I've got to do the first 5 Man United match reviews in a Liverpool shirt if that happens, because I was adamant that they were going to pull it through. Not based on anything I was told, just on the approach. I was adamant they were going to deliver this summer for their fans, and they're not doing it right now. Arsenal are spiraling whilst the top 4 are improving. And this is about running of the club and the approach. Yeah, the Arteta element plays a part in that, but he's also been put into the club by this ownership, by this board. So they are still accountable if you're putting it all down on Mikel Arteta. What I find interesting is, of course, the reports today, the Martin Odegaard situation. Terry, Odegaard signing for a loan with an option to buy. That is unbelievable business. Our funds can be spent elsewhere too. And you know what, Smith? That's what I mean about the approach. The approach they're going in for with Odegaard is correct. It's going to be laughed at and bantered, but it's sensible if you can't sell players this year, because it means you may have to pay a menial fee, a £4 or £5 million now. That'll come off the option to buy later down the line. It will probably be an obligation to buy to protect Real Madrid. They don't want him having a bad season, and then they get lumbered with the requirement to have to sell him if he has a bad season. If he has a great season, then they'll probably regret putting an obligation to buy him because they could have negotiated a better price or sold him elsewhere. Anyway, it will probably be an obligation to buy, but it means that there isn't going to be an initial layout for Arsenal Football Club this summer. However, that, though, is a good bit of business in isolation. It's about the knock-on effect from there. If Arsenal don't then take that money and buy that striker, if say they save initial outlay this summer by doing that deal with Odegaard, £20 million, that has to go towards buying a top striker, or towards buying a right back, whatever position you feel or the club feels is a necessity to fill. That is what simply needs to happen. And that is where I would be frustrated as an Arsenal fan if it doesn't. If that deal comes out and you all celebrate it, my question's then going to be, well, where's that money gone? Especially if you don't sign a goalkeeper of the valuation of Ramsdale. Especially if you're getting Odegaard on this loan deal. And if you sell a few players on as well. Now, this is what I want to check for at the end of the window with Arsenal fans. Let's just say that it's going to make some names up here. Let's say Nketiah gets sold, Bellerin gets sold. You do this loan deal and you don't sign another goalkeeper. You're raising money and saving money and receiving a lot of money. You're £10 million short of the asking price of James Maddison. I would expect to see that deal then get done. And that's where my I wouldn't say confusion or worry comes in as such. I wouldn't use those words to describe it. But that's where I want to see what Arsenal Football Club do. That right there is what I want to see. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. What can they do in that position? We're going to open the lines up now for you to come on and for you to have your say. We're going to pin the link, the StreamYard link, into the live comment section so you can come on, you can jump on, have your say. Tell us what you think and feel. We're talking Harry Kane to Man City. Is it going to happen? Will he play today? Martin Odegaard to Arsenal. Lautaro Martinez talks continue. I want to get your thoughts on it. As I've said, some of the big transfer journalists last night with a very, very telling update on Lautaro Martinez if Inter changed their mind. Remember, a week ago, it was Inter 100% not against it. That line has become a little bit blurred at this moment. So I'm interested to know your thoughts and your feelings on that. I truly am. Let's do some more of these comments coming through here. Pogba's more assists in 68 minutes than Mount last season. He was fantastic yesterday, Paul Pogba. Terry didn't mention the Man United supporters throwing chairs after the game. I haven't seen any of that. Did they? Oh, I didn't see that at all. I've seen a few articles that I haven't clicked on about Man United and Leeds fans singing unsavory songs. Do you know what it was yesterday? I will read about that stuff, but sometimes I'm just in a good mood. So I made a really big mistake last night. I watched the 10 o'clock news, and I literally watched the 10 o'clock news before match of the day, and I felt like shit. Honestly, there's a part of me as I'm getting older, I'd rather live in a bit of ignorance sometimes. Because it's just, I'll have a look later. But I was in a good mood yesterday. I was never going to dampen the mood by clicking on songs that Neanderthalic Fools were singing. I don't even know what they were saying, but I'm sure some of them are a bit nasty. I'm sure there was Munich songs. I'm sure some Man United fans was singing or chanting or taking the mick out, using Turkey in what they were doing. I'm sure Rashford and Sancho got a lot of stick yesterday in one way, shape, or form. And I'm not surprised it ended in fights. I'm just not. But I just didn't read into it yesterday because I was in too good a mood to bring myself down. What? Terry, want to go to court with Pep because he said net spend is real. Pep Guardiola knows what he's doing there. He knows what he's doing. Right, let's go to some of these calls now. Let's see what people say. Someone here said, Terry, Mark Goldbridge is calling you out. I bet he's not. A lot of people, and if he is, good luck to him. Okay. Do you know why I know Mark Goldbridge isn't calling me out? Do you want to know why I know for 100% fact that he's not? Why would a man whose YouTube channel and United Stand business are easily making 100 to 150 grand a month, who has 1.1 million YouTube subscribers across all other socials, he's got to have another 500,000 plus followers, making loads of money. He is the king of watch-alongs, the king of transfers on YouTube. Why would he care or say anything about me? That's why I know. Like anyone in that position. I heard something that Kevin Hart said a little while back. I think he was on the Joe Rogan podcast where he was like, I don't know what personally, I think he might have been talking about LeBron James or somebody. He was like, do you think LeBron James sits on YouTube leaving comments? He's got too much going on in his life. Like, do you think Mark Goldbridge even knows what I'm up to? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, that's all I'm saying. Like, respect. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely, respect the guy, top guy. But there we go. I don't know exactly how much his YouTube channel earns. I'm legitimately guessing based on what I know others earn that get their views, and I'm multiplying it. Plus the sponsorship deals he gets must be amazing. And I don't know what he gets because I have no idea, but they must be amazing. They must be amazing. Someone here says jealous. Me. Like all I ever do is praise United Stand. No jealousy at all. Do you want to know something about me as a person? And I don't talk about myself a lot. I tell jokes or anecdotal stuff as a bit of a laugh, but I never speak about it. When I see people doing well, no matter who they are or where they're from, I see it as motivation. It's, oh, wow, look what they're doing. I'm not going to lie. Do I want that? Yeah, of course I do. But I don't allow that small piece of envy to erode me. It enhances me. It makes me work harder. It centers me. I keep moving forward. So whenever I see Don Robbie, Goldbridge, Rants, Matisse doing really well, like guys like Daniel that comes on our show, the Chelsea fan, and Anita yesterday in the press box at Chelsea, I don't feel jealousy. I feel happy for them, and it's motivation to keep moving forward. So simple as that. Zero jealousy at all. It just doesn't exist within my I tell you what I am jealous of, Mark Wright. He gets to go sleep next to Michelle Keegan every night. That's who I'm jealous of. Do you know what I mean? Legit jealous. Legit jealous. Who's that dude that's with Maya Jama as well? Like, I know you got a private jet, bruv, but Maya, trust me, I can make you much happier. I can't. I probably can't. Do you know what I mean? Kane is leaving on the Man City bus today. Do you know how Man United announced for Iran, right? Can you imagine they do that full time? They announce a signing. Can you imagine? Oh, they do it in reverse. He walks out saying goodbye, holding a Man City shirt. Oh, please do it. Like literally, do it. If I was a billionaire and I was a trillionaire nearly, whatever they are, right? The owners, I'd be like, listen, Daniel, we'll give you 160. Cool. Can I give you 170? And we do the announcement in front of your fans. That's what I do. Oh, I know. Do you know what? I paid Daniel Levy direct. Look, there's £10 million in your back pocket and a wig. Like, I do both of them things together. Let us do the announcement at the end of the game. Oh, please. Sheikh, just listen, £10 million. What is it to you? Do you know how rich, though, the owner of Man City is? He could buy Tottenham. And I ain't talking Tottenham Football Club. The man could buy Tottenham with the money in his pocket right now. He could buy the whole area, bruv. I'll do it. Please, Sheikh. I would just like to see the limbs. I'd like do it. Do it. Can you imagine? Anyway, we're going to go to calls now. We digress massively. Terry, I need a Dean Jones update. Bruv! The other day you were calling him a fraud. Now you want to chat to him. What do you want an update on? I need to know what you want an update on. Right. All right, Maria Williams. She's a Spurs fan, of course, kicking off there. Oh, Terry, that's not fair. It'd just be hilarious, wouldn't it? It'd be hilarious. And you know how they do it? Do you know how they do it, right? I don't watch wrestling anymore because I'm a grown-up. But I used to when I was a kid. As all the fans are leaving, you know the Stone Cold Steve Austin music where the glass breaks? The glass noise breaks across the stadium. All the fans are in the world's longest bar. They're like, what's going on? And the tenor is like, come outside. And the music's pumping. And it's just Harry Kane like bowling through like this. Do you know what I mean? 2 cans of beer, smashes them and he necks them, gets into a helicopter with a big Man City emblem on it and just flies away into the sunset. Do it. Let's get it done. Listen, let's have a whip round. Do you know what? Let's pay for it. I'd pay an extra £5 a month for the year on Sky for that one. I really would. Some of you guys are strange. Really strange. Anyway. Right. Leaf's on the show with me now. What are you saying, Leaf? Welcome to the terrace. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings, buddy. Yes, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, that would be great. I would pay for that too, honestly, just to see it. Yeah.
You're a Spurs fan. Do you know what I mean?
It would be so fun. He wouldn't get out of the stadium alive. I mean, you would have people throwing banners at the helicopter. He wouldn't get out alive.
Well, that's the point. The £10 million is danger money. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Danger money. Yeah, it'd be great. Golden handshake. But yeah, I mean, in terms of today, do you expect to see him play?
No, not at all. I mean, he's not fit. He not won preseason second. I think he'll be on the bench. I think he'll be in the squad, because if you leave him out of the squad, I mean, like there's going to be so much speculation. I won't be surprised if he starts, but Nuno likes the 3 very quick forwards and fit forwards, so I don't think he'll start. Not at all. No chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one indeed. I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll play. That's my gut feeling. He won't play just because I still think Tottenham are contemplating it. Why risk the whole thing falling through and then picking up an injury? It doesn't make sense. I think that's why he delayed.
Actually, that could be a good idea. You could have maybe Eric Dyer just accidentally slide tackling him. That could be a good idea.
I hear you on that. I feel like it's all premeditated in the sense of, you know, if you go back and watch some of the Done Deal shows with Dean much earlier on in the summer, before even the Euros kicked off, he very much spoke about Kane not coming back until the 8th. This was as soon as the fixtures were announced, it was sort of like not coming back until the 8th. Very unlikely to play. The deal is very unlikely to go through before the opening day of the season because the two teams play each other. Because what would be really interesting to see is how negotiations would have panned out had this game not have been until November. Because I think we might have seen the deal concluded by now. In terms of the other options, there's obviously Vlahovic, I think it's pronounced, and Lautaro Martinez. Those talks won't go. I mean, the Times today reporting that you're continuing to negotiate with them. Do you look at these as only coming in if Harry Kane leaves, or are you confident Tottenham can pull those deals off irrespective?
So actually, as you say that, Di Marzio just updated like 5 minutes ago that Tottenham are closing in on Vlahovic. Atletico Madrid are almost out because they're only willing to offer 50 to 60, and we already have that 70 million from when we offered it to Lautaro. So I don't know. I wouldn't sell Kane for any of those two. I think just keep him, sell him for 100 next year, and then get Martinez when next year for cheaper because he only has a year of contract left. I wouldn't sell him for those two. No.
Yeah, do you know? I think it comes down to. I mean, I was speaking to so many people yesterday evening because I covered football all day yesterday, and then I spent the evening, messaging different journalists, people that I've worked with on here. Some of the contacts we now have through Snack Media, and sort of Vlahovic was kind of mentioned. But what they spoke about with Tottenham was very, very simple. It was a case of they may be looking to add a striker to Harry Kane, but no one's convinced. Like, not one person said to me 100% they're looking to buy a striker to play alongside Harry Kane. They said that's what we're being briefed. That's what we're being told. But again, nobody's 100% bought into that because Spurs have told journalists a lot of porcupines.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit reluctant to like print this, if that makes sense. That's why when they see it printed, they say things like it's reported or Tottenham say they're going to do this rather than it's 100%. But they're also talking about like the Martinez deal only being something they're going to pursue should they accept the bid. Harry Kane. You're not going to buy both of those attackers or go for both without that. I'm very intrigued to see what happens. I mean, adding a top-class striker to the mix with Harry Kane, I mean, could be very interesting for Tottenham. I think it definitely gives you scope to go on and push for a top 4 place, and then maybe to try and convince Harry Kane to stay. The irony would be, though, Harry Kane leaves and you win a trophy anyway. I mean, I would laugh. These things.
It could happen. Son.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see what happens in relation to that. I'm excited about it here. And
do you think it will happen? Do you think he'll move to City?
Honestly, I'm 50-50, and I'm not sitting on.
Me too.
I think it's. I said this a few times about a number of situations. I feel like I'm not sitting here and saying it's 100% going to happen, and I'm also not going to say that Spurs have shut the door on it. I think when clubs shut the door on players leaving, there's no noise. Like, I've learned this summer, journalists don't just make stories up. I'm not talking about like a desk journalist who just goes around the internet looking for different stories and then amalgamates them into like an aggregated story. I'm talking about journalists don't just make things up. And I've had access to this year, which I've never had access to before, and it's just a different world. It's still rumbling, but what they're all saying, all the credible guys are saying, it's such a hard deal to see happen, but it is still on. It really does lie with Daniel Levy. I think I don't see a 160 bid coming in, but I certainly see a big offer being made, and then Tottenham need to make the decision. Is keeping Harry Kane more important than the money? At the end of the day, it all leads to money. It's whether Harry Kane can yield them enough success or help them yield enough success for them to make as much money as selling him. And that's what they've got to weigh up. I still think if you could bring in, I don't know how good Vlahovic is going to be.
He's 19 and he has 21 goals.
There we go. I don't know much about him. I never talk about players I don't know too much about. I kind of look at him and think, is he going to replace all of Kane's goals? No. But for the money you'd sell Kane for, theoretically, you could get him and Martinez. And suddenly, I think your attack is better. And it's future-proofed. You've now got more quality across the positions and depth as opposed to maybe the outright better striker. And by the way, in 2 or 3 years' time, Harry Kane's going to be, well into his 30s. It's now, I just feel like now is the right time for Spurs to move on and maybe build their team around somebody else. And I think people will be surprised the rise of level. But buddy, listen, score prediction from you today. Who's winning? Yourselves or City?
1-0 to Tottenham.
Wow, look at that. I like a bit of confidence. I like that, bro.
Eric Dyer masterclass.
I'll see you on the match reaction show. And by the way, you know, the other day you messaged, like, did you legitimately come out in that message?
No. Like, I was that way before.
Oh no, what I meant is, like, you've come out on the internet. Like, I didn't know. Like, as in, you've told everyone.
No. I think no, I don't think so. That wasn't the first time. No.
Oh, but you are gay.
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke or anything. All right, cool.
No, it wasn't.
That's what I was trying to take it. Like, I was just sort of like, okay, cool. It's a good, like, the joke was brilliant, but I just wanted to double check. Do you know what I mean? But listen, mate, top man. Like, a lot of people wouldn't admit that sort of thing in the football world.
Really?
In the UK, I got a few mates that are gay. They don't like to, like, when it's at football, they're like, I don't know why they said to me, just don't ever let it come out that I'm gay. I'm like, why? They said, I just can't be dealing with it. And there's a guy I know that's involved in a YouTube scene. Same thing. He just doesn't want it coming out because he doesn't want the backlash. So listen, fair play to you, bruv. Absolutely. Like, no, I mean it. Like, legitimately, it's a big thing.
I don't have any channel or anything, so I'm not famous at all.
Well, you're famous on the terrace, bruv. You're Leith, isn't it? You're Keith with an L, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of them ones. Listen, bruv, I'll speak to you soon. Top man. Speak to you in a bit. Cheers, bro. Take care. Bye-bye. Now, he put a joke in the other day. He said something about how, I think it was something about how gorgeous Jess was. He went, Jess is like really gorgeous, and that's coming from me, and I'm gay. And I just died. It made me laugh because the man is brilliant. Listen, Gunner King's on the show next. We're talking Martin Odegaard. We're talking Lautaro Martinez. What you saying, bro?
Oh, shit. Here we go again. Like, that is what I'm saying at the moment. Like, I'm still reading from Friday, man. And Odegaard or an upgrade like him just can't come soon enough. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. I think I'm pleased because we're strengthening an area, but does he offer enough of a goal scoring threat? That's my concern. So big things have to happen in the next week. We got Chelsea next weekend, and if Brentford was anything to go by, it's going to be a long season unless we strengthen the squad.
You do need to strengthen it. And do you know what's interesting for me about this whole sort of situation with a lot of people saying you look like a BTEC Lacazette. That's actually funny.
I get that all the time, man.
I can see the resemblance. Mate, you have to strengthen. And I was talking to Jess last night actually about the whole situation at Arsenal, and it's like, do you know what annoys me about football fans? When it comes to like what we do on the pitch, we hate it if someone says, say you make a mistake today and then somebody brings up, oh, you did it before 2 seasons ago. It's like, you can't compare what we did 2 seasons ago to now. That's over. It's finished. It's a new campaign. I actually kind of agree with that to a certain degree. When it comes to transfer dealings and how you operate as a club, there isn't a time bar. It's, you know, you could have sold Lacazette last year, but you thought, no, actually, we'll hold on and we'll get more for him in a year's time. That hasn't worked out. That mistake last year of not allowing him to go has cost you. Investing in Aubameyang was hindsight's lucrative, but it was the mistake. You know, so I keep seeing Arsenal fans defending your club saying, oh, but it ain't our fault. We can't get rid of people. Well, it is. You renewed the contracts and bought them. It's still on you. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, at the end of the day, like, it's, you know, my brother, right? One of my brothers, we all were going away on a lad's holiday and he couldn't come because he didn't have any money, right? And I was like, it's your fault. And it ain't my fault. I lost my job. I was like, yeah, but you punched your boss. Like, I mean, that action he did. He got to rob his boss on the building site and he hit him, and he had no money. But he was upset that he couldn't come on the holiday because he had no money. And he was like, but it isn't my fault. I haven't got money. Well, it is because you did that action. The reason you can't sell your players is because of poor running of the club. And what I'm getting frustrated with is seeing Arsenal fans almost defend not getting Tammy, not getting Lautaro, because the Lautaro Martinez deal, the one that they're spinning the biggest now. It's impossible because of the Lukaku situation. But you could have just bid for Lautaro Martinez 5 weeks ago and you got him. Do you know what I mean? Because he was available. But you didn't because you had to sell, and you couldn't sell because you've made bad decisions in previous years. That's where it's really starting to come unstuck. And the process and the plan of this summer was fine, but they haven't been able to execute it so far because of mistakes previously made. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because Odegaard, look, is he talented? Do I think we need to give him a bit more of a chance in the Prem to adjust, like we've said about the likes of Thiago and Donny? Yes, we do. But he isn't going to be enough to move the needle. If you don't get Aubameyang, will he turn it back on again this year? I just don't know. He looks like, like sometimes, that scene from The Dark Knight Rises where Bane and Batman are fighting, and Bane's like, I'm going to try and do the voice. He's like, success is beating you. He says, like, success is beating you. Like, victory is beating you. It's like, victory is beating you. Like, whatever it is he says. And I was watching it last night, and I'm like, that's Aubameyang. Like, and that success beat him. It's like there was nothing left anymore, like the silk pajamas thing. And yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, what do you expect to happen between now and the end of the window, bro?
At the end of the day, between now and the end of the window, we've really got to we've got to strengthen, I think, in at least 4 areas, potentially 5. That's how bad it is. I mean, people have been talking about a backup keeper, and Leno keeps putting in performances that would suggest we need a first team keeper. But whether you claim it's a first team or a backup keeper, I think we need a keeper. Right back, Chambers was at fault for the first goal. Didn't get out to his man quickly enough. Ball's gone through his legs. We've been talking about right back all summer. And I really hope something's done there. I think in the centre of midfield, Lokonga looked okay, but Xhaka next to him I get it, renew his contract to preserve his value, but then don't do that at the expense of getting another actually ready-made central midfielder that is going to go into your first team. Because Lokonga was bought contentiously to be a squad player. He wasn't bought to be a first team player, and it's not fair to run him under the mill by just throwing him into all the games.
And that is a great point. When we spoke to like Christophe Terreur, who is, for me, the leading Belgian football journalist and expert, literally said that on this show live, he's not a player for now. If you force him into, and that's my worries for Emil Smith-Rowe, giving him that 10. That's my worries for Saka. The pressure is on these kids to deliver, and it's so dangerous. You can burn them out. You can ruin them. They shouldn't have. It's like yesterday I was watching Man United. Greenwood, like, he's still very young, balled out yesterday. But look what was around him. Pogba,
Exactly.
Bruno's, and these experienced players to without being disrespectful, to hold his hand. It's so important, bro. It's so important.
And yeah, we've completely lost that, and my concern is, whilst on a technical level, getting rid of Aubameyang and or Lacazette might be the right way forward. I mean, those, as far as I'm aware, are the last 2 30-plus-year-olds in our squad. So you're now playing with an even younger squad overall in terms of the average age. And I don't think that's something you can have at this moment. I'm not saying you always need experience or elder statesmen in your team, but it definitely helps when you're in the trenches. And that is where Arsenal are at the moment. And it says it all when, after what Xhaka has done with the armband, what he's done in the past, that he has given back the armband on the first day of the season because we are that low on leaders already. So it's not good at the moment. I think, it's not just player profiles that we need, it's leaders. And you know what? After that match, you know who did the post-match interview? Lokonga. Lokonga came out and did the post-match interview when Xhaka was the captain. Let that sink in. A new team player, 21 years old, just come from Belgium. His first game, he was walking out to defeat of a championship team. And the guy that was made the captain, he goes home and leaves him to talk to the press. It's just, it's embarrassing, and it says it all about where we are right now.
Mate, I completely and utterly understand your thoughts and feelings around that. And this is where I want to see some pressure put on by Arsenal fans. So if you get this Odegaard deal done a year on a loan with some type of option to buy in a year's time, again, I will congratulate that individual piece of business. But it's then about the knock-on effect from there. The money you're saving, where are you reinvesting that? For me, that money you're then saving, the money you've then saved on not buying Ramsdale, that should then be invested into one of these other positions. So that's when you then go, right, you know what? First of all, go and test the resolve. Go and test that resolve or that mind, you know, the ability of that mind changing of Inter Milan by saying, listen, I know we bid 50 before, but there's 65, there's 70 million for Lautaro Martinez. Let's see what you're saying now. If they say no to that, if you meet their asking price and they say no, Arsenal fans, I don't think can complain as much. There's still that we could have done this sooner in the season. I mean, this is why I get annoyed about this. Odegaard was the first choice. If he was the first choice, you could have done this deal for him weeks ago, saved that money already, and then you could have got Lautaro Martinez before the Lacazette, the Lukaku deal went through. However, that's gone now. What can you do from this point? I just get this feeling that they're going to do this loan deal and then almost go, right, that's all, folks. And then it's, hang on a minute, though, hang on. Like, you told us via the press that we were 5 million short on this and 10 million short on this. But we've saved all that money on the Odegaard deal and you're still not spending it. But what you will get is those tier ones and those certain big Arsenal accounts that are going to try and spin it as this big positive and this big money-saving exercise and this brilliant bit of like financial business, rather than focusing on the cold hard facts of the matter, brother. And that's where Arsenal fans have got to stand up, in my opinion.
Yeah, and stand up we will, because if we see that happen, that like not only are we finished as a club, but there will be process. Definitely, I can see it 100%. I'll be leading them. I'm not that far from the stadium as it is, so yeah, it's really Groundhog Day for Arsenal Football Club, and like seeing everyone else and how they perform this weekend, what we're supposed to be keeping up pace with. United 5-1, Liverpool 3-0, City are going to play today, Tottenham are going to play today. Someone's going to win that game, or or at the very least draw and stay in with the others. Yeah, it's just not good. It's got to be. It could not be any more obvious to Edu, to Kroenke, and to Arteta that they need to get a move on. Like this week is massive for this club.
Gargantua, mate. Listen, great call as always, Gunner King. Speak to you again soon, brother. Top man. Easy. Thank you very much. Cheers, bro. Thank you. Hit that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take some more of your calls here. Remember, we are live after Tottenham versus Man City today, so make sure you stay with the terrace. Dinesh here says, morning, Terry. Did you see the fan chat with Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville? What they said about Arsenal to tie, they were right, but some as fans don't like it when the truth is said. Yeah, look, I've known Ty a long time. I'm not saying we're friends or anything. He's a really good guy. He hates hearing negative things said about his club, especially when they're true. But listen to the likes of Jess, the Agals, Gunner King's great. Kesh, who's back soon. Adam, the Football Terrace. I genuinely think we have some of the best sort of social Arsenal fans out there from across the spectrum for different reasons. And I feel all their pain. I really do. Next on the show, I'm going to go to Mazzy. Mazzy's on the show with me now. Welcome to the channel, mate. Who do you support, bro?
I support Arsenal Football Club, Terry.
Lovely, my friend. What are you here to say, buddy?
Man, where do I start? Damn. Yeah, we're a mess right now, to be very honest. You see, I feel of course, the main issue starts from the Kroenkes. But talking about the manager now, like I feel like Arteta isn't just right for this football club. Okay, we are talking about Xhaka now. If you look back at the Euro 2020 tournament that just got concluded, Terry, this guy was one of the best midfielders in the tournament, and for some reason, Arteta cannot just get the best out of him. I feel I feel he's one of the main problems we have in the Arsenal Football Club. Not just the players, because yeah, I do understand that we do not have quality players in every position. Yeah, I do get that fact. But at the same time, we had Guendouzi, Torreira. These guys were before he came here. These guys were touted as being the next big things in European football. But where are they now? Torreira is off in Madrid, enjoying his vacation with his family. Guendouzi is, man, I really do not get what's his problem. I just feel he's very, very clueless at this point. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's very inexperienced to carry this great football club forward. Okay, look at the situation Chelsea had with Lampard. Nearly they got rid of that. You see, Chelsea are a big team right now. They are, to me, they're actually bigger team than Arsenal because of the way they behave, not just because of their fan base. Because if they're talking about size of the fan base, Arsenal are still a bigger club than most teams in England. But when we are talking in terms of club behavior, Chelsea are. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry right now, but I have to be very honest. I'm upset. Like I've had enough. You see, those guys they're a bigger club right now than Arsenal because they act on impulse. Yet they don't wait around to see if, because it is clear, it is very evident to see that Arteta isn't just the right man for this club. Yeah, we don't have quality players, but a good coach will always work with what he has. And you cannot tell me we have listen, a worse team than West Ham. You can't tell me that because on paper I feel we're still better than West Ham. You get, but this season I can't see us finishing ahead of West Ham, to be very honest. So I don't know how we are going to go forward from here. I think the first thing has to be changing the manager first and foremost, then getting in more players too, in the right positions. And I don't feel our squad isn't as bad as people make or people say it is. I feel the problem is just the system Arteta uses. So I don't know. Well, that's my own take on it, sir.
Yeah, listen, I do understand where you're coming from, mate. And I understand the frustrations. I understand the annoyance. I get that completely, my brother. Thanks for calling in and having your say, mate. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you again soon. Top man. Thank you. Make sure that like button is hit this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure you get that done for us right about now. No, don't spin this like we shouldn't have got rid of wingers. The guy was finished, is what your mama says here. All Arsenal fans wanted Wenger out. Now he's gone. See what you've got. Do you know what's interesting? There was this element. There is so much truth in that. You can look back, like hindsight, I always say, is a very lucrative commodity. You look back now, Arsenal, and you realize that Wenger was keeping the sinking ship afloat, which is why I've said that I think if this kind of new approach doesn't work under the Kroenkes and Edu and Arteta, you need to just try and get the best manager possible to guide the sinking ship. I've said that about Man United when it comes to Ollie. Let's see if we can get these new processes in shape and these new things working and operating. But if that doesn't work, then you just need to get the best manager possible to guide you through things. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that for me. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Kieran here says confidence is shot at Arsenal, watery defense, Xhaka at holding, and isn't the best at covering. Arsenal's defense can be got at too easily. 100%. I think most Arsenal fans would agree with you on that 100%. Dylan is with us now. Zion is here with us now. What you saying, bro?
Just to let you know, man. I can say, man, Arsenal, when I saw that performance against Brentford, first game of the season, let's be real. No matter even you're home, you're away. That was shocking. I mean, I know Brentford are a newly promoted team. They've just come up the ranks and, but you can't perform like that. I mean, people say it's the players' fault. The players aren't performing. They didn't have Aubameyang, didn't have Lacazette. But Arteta has to get, if he can't get the best out of these players, what's the point of getting these new signings in that they're going to try and get he's not going to get the best out of them as well. So, you know, there's a huge difference between Ollie and Arteta right now. Ollie, you know, I saw that game against Leeds. They were brilliant. You know, they were brilliant. And Ollie at least is trying his best. And this is his like make or break season, in my opinion, I think, at United, with the signings that they're making. You know, I say by chance next summer they do get Haaland. You know, they get Haaland, and then, you know, I think he'll have one more season to prove himself. And then if he doesn't win anything still then even he can't do it. But at least Ollie's trying. Arteta has been there, you know, and he's been there for that long, and, you know, he hasn't done anything. Look, Tuchel came in, you know, to Chelsea half through a season and won us a trophy. You know, nobody expected that. But it's the manager. You know, that's where experience always, you know, wins. No matter what, you know, in a player, in a manager. If you've got that experience, you will succeed. But, you know, inexperienced managers need to, you know, start somewhere, not big, but like, you know, a middle. You know, if Ole say came to the Premier League and managed like Palace or, you know, a West Brom side, and, you know, brought his way up, and like even with Arteta, we wouldn't be talking, you know, with these managers like that now.
Do you know what? I hear it, and I just think that Arsenal are not in this place. But I kind of get why, you know, the previous caller spoke very much about the situation with Arteta and the big problem that he thinks he is. I've heard Man United fans say the same type of thing about Ollie. I stand my ground on this, and I stand by my opinion. This is about the way the club operates. You know, Mikel Arteta, is he a good enough manager? I've deliberated and sort of danced about this point for a long time, and I'm unyielding in it right now. And that's that he isn't good enough. He isn't of the level that's required to take Arsenal to the next stage, especially when they're not operating well as a football club on and off the pitch. I saw a really good approach this summer for the types of players I'm looking to buy, but the approach and the process and everything you're trying is only as good as your delivery. And if they miss out on this extra cover in midfield, if they miss out on a better attacking player, if they don't address that right back situation, I'm not saying they've got to do all three, but two of those positions need to be resolved in the next in the next 2 weeks. If it doesn't happen, they're in big trouble.
I mean, Arsenal should have thought about this entire window months before it even started. This is the preparation. You know that the Euros are, you know, happening. Okay, it's going to be a struggle to get players and all that other, but you've got to have a plan. You know, a plan. You know, before the window opens, a plan is get me a number 10, get me a right back, get me a striker, and, you know, Chelsea. If you think about it, look, this is where I think Chelsea's plan transfer has been brilliant. They've always said, you know, before the window started, we need a striker. Everyone saw what Chelsea were lacking last season: a striker, the one who gives, you know, the goals. You know where Arsenal lack creativity. You know, their number one target should be a number 10, but they're now, you know, in this so late in the transfer, they're looking for a number 10. You know, they're going to make a decision. I mean, Odegaard, obviously, I heard rumors that he's happy to rejoin Arsenal, you know, on a permanent deal. But why they've left it so late? You know, if Real Madrid have asked a price for Odegaard before he went back on loan, Arsenal should pay it. You know, this is where the board, this is where everyone, you know, at Arsenal should be, you know, having a plan ahead of a transfer window, saying that we want these targets. I mean, look at Ollie. United, for the first time, I think, this transfer window, I've seen them act that quick to get not only Sancho in and Varane. I mean, who saw Varane coming in? Nobody saw that coming in. I mean, I knew Sancho was going to come in, but I never thought Varane was going to come to United. And, you know, United acted fast for the first time. Arsenal have never acted fast. They've always waited, and then they let their rivals on. Buendia, I mean, they let him go to Villa because they got outpriced by Aston Villa. I mean, come on, this is Arsenal. I mean, back in the day, every player wanted to play for Arsenal, but now they're just mediocre. I mean, they can't even, you know, get players from the bottom league of the table. Like, you know, Norwich, who just got promoted, they couldn't get, you know, their talisman.
Mate, listen, I totally get where you're coming from, and I think although some Spurs fans won't want to admit this in any way, in any shape or any form. They, in their heart of hearts, they know exactly what you're saying is true. They know it, and they can feel it. They just don't want to. They just don't want to admit it, and that's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that they don't want to admit it, because I think that Arsenal fans owning this would change things dramatically. A lot of them say it, a lot of the social media guys say it, and do the protests and put up a post and everything. But what's actually being done, I don't know. Zion, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on the terrace this morning, having your say. Top man. Thank you. Mooney here with Super Chat says, Terry, do you know anything about the fallout between Arteta and Aubameyang? It kind of seems that way. What are your thoughts? I haven't seen anything concrete, and I do a lot of reading on football each day, but equally because I read so much, I miss a lot as well because I'm engrossed in other things. I haven't seen anything direct about it, so I'll do a bit of research on it. However, I truly do not believe for one singular second that they were out ill. That don't seem right to me. The worry is going to be, though, if they can't find someone to come in and take these players away, because they could find themselves in a lot of trouble. Terry, you mean Arsenal? Yeah, yeah. I must have a slip of the tongue there. So sorry. So it was a slip of the tongue. I was actually something come up on my screen about Tottenham. It was in my head. There we go. Listen, everybody that's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Smash that like button before you leave. Please sign up to our brand new notification group chat on Telegram. The link for that is inside our description below. Never miss another Football Terrace stream again. YouTube doesn't really send out the notifications very well. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. We're back at full time. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.